All right, well, I guess it's time to get exposed, bro. Mrlboyd Exposed, Part 2. When it comes to like rudeness, I just ignore it. It doesn't affect me. It's just like everyone has their own opinion of things, and your opinion may not be something that I personally like, right? But it's like, bro, that's your opinion. It's fine. Do your thing, right? You're not harming me. So like words literally matter zero to me. I remember the Forrest Gump situation. Yeah, well, okay. Well, I guess I just contradicted myself. The Forrest Gump situation affected me in one way. It not so much, it didn't offend me. Like, I don't understand how someone's trauma can be used as an excuse to treat other people terrible. Example, Forrest. Jenny had her life, okay? She was completely neurotypical. She was a terrible human because, again, she allowed her trauma to affect someone else's life, right? She lived her entire life free, fun, fancy till the end of her life, where she contracted some type of something. And all I can guess is that it's something based off of the lifestyle she lived of straight debauchery and looseness. And yeah, people didn't like my statements. They were like, how dare you? She went through all of these things. The next movie I watched just so happened to be Misery. Right. And so what I did specifically during that reaction is I made sure I took the advice of a lot of the commenters. You have to understand a person's trauma. Okay, well, so now Annie Wilkes is innocent and she did all of these things because of her trauma.
Would you like a tiny tape recorder? Or how about a handmade set of writing slippers? Because if you want, I'll bring back the whole store for you. I'll tell you what's the matter. I go out of my way for you.
Right.
I do everything to try and make you happy.
Exactly.
I feed you, and what thanks do I get?
Right now, Paul is being very disrespectful. All right. This woman has done all of these things for him, and he is not being very appreciative of her efforts. Paul, do better. Paul is definitely the bad guy here. So you can't have it both ways. Either you're going to accept 100% someone's trauma is the reason why they're acting like this and kind of give them a pass for the actions in their life, or you're not going to. And I choose to be a person that specifically does not allow someone to act a certain way towards me or around me based off of what they've gone through in their life. It's not acceptable. I should not be punished in the way Forrest was. His entire life chasing a woman who did not want him at all, friend-zoned him basically permanently until the end of her life when she was dying and needed someone to take care of her kid. That's kind of, yeah, I don't like Jenny, bro. I am not Team Jenny, but I can at least give you the reason why I don't like Jenny. Whew, Jenny. And Ann Wilkes, innocent. How dare Paul be so absolutely disrespectful towards Annie and her wishes? She's been through a lot. I don't think she's camera shy, right? I mean, I don't think she has any issues with being on camera. But yeah, absolutely privacy. I don't really. I'm not one of those people that are going to put their family all over the internet for clicks. I do know that if I do allow my wife, she's extremely intelligent, extremely intelligent, to come onto my channel. I can guarantee you one thing. You guys would love her. If you can deal with me, get ready. There's another person on the planet that literally is just like me. We are married for a reason. We literally sit on a daily basis and talk about topics that would make no sense to other people. Occasionally we're around other people and people are like, bro, what are you talking about? I don't really want to talk about a random episode of Stargate or the science that could have been behind it. Like, we are literally the same person, but I just choose personally not to involve my family in this, even though I know that would work. I know it would work on YouTube. I know it would, but I just don't have any interest in that type of thing yet, at least. Maybe eventually. That's why we're only really trying it on Patreon, is for you guys on Patreon. T or A? You guys could fill in the blanks. I think at one time in our history, T or A would have been a really good question. But now I think the most important thing probably of that T or A is if that T or A is followed by XX or XY. So if we break it down to that very specific thing, I'm going to go ahead and say T and A are basically equally acceptable depending on the circumstances, right? And the circumstances are solely going to lie in what I see first. Right? As long as the TRA are followed by basically the viscous innards, then it doesn't matter which one is better, to me personally, at least. Anything more than a handful is a waste. Favorite rifle will probably be anything chambered in 30-06. Probably. In terms of rifles, just straight rifles, like bolts. Yeah, 30-06. I do like a lot of the rifle caliber pistols, like AR style pistols, AK style pistols. I like those a lot. Yeah, guilty pleasure would probably be like butter pecan. Like, I like ice cream. I shouldn't like ice cream. Trust me when I say I shouldn't like ice cream, but I love ice cream. I like butter pecan ice cream a lot. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot, bro. Not to the point where I'm eating like an entire container of it on a regular basis. That's never gonna happen. But like 2 scoops of like butter pecan is just like brilliant. That's a guilty pleasure. I feel guilty for doing it because I know I shouldn't be consuming it at all. Right? I should basically be attempting to live off of water. Trust me, bro. Unfortunately, I don't move around enough during the day because I'm generally making content for roughly 16 hours every single day, guys. So I'm sitting down way too much, bro. So honestly, anytime I eat is just terrible because of the amount of calories that I actually have the ability to burn throughout the day, which is basically almost nothing. Because again, I'm just sitting down. And I definitely don't think I feel like any type of emotions regarding it. I just know I shouldn't be doing it, but yet I continue, right? Yeah, logically, it doesn't make any sense. It's just because, again, I don't move enough. If I did move enough, I could probably sustain the caloric intake of whatever that would be for 2 scoops of butter pecan roughly every 3 days. Maybe I don't feel guilty at all. I just know that it's wrong, if that makes any sense. I went to NYU, I have a master's in fine art. Let's see, what's my favorite holiday? I honestly don't celebrate any holiday. And a lot of that comes from moving around a lot. Just imagine being in other countries and they don't celebrate those holidays. So, like, I have no favorite holiday because I've been in places for honestly probably half my life now. And all these holidays are different. They're random holidays. Every country seems to have a different one, right? On different days and things like that. Guys, Mother's Day and Father's Day are completely different days in America than in Spain. Just imagine for a second. Then you have like name days and things like that. I never could actually kind of get sucked into a holiday like that. Oh my God. Bro, what did you just ask me? um, I think I'm already half man, half. Never mind, bro. How do you even approach a question like this? I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Wait, the legs, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and say I think I would prefer to have the bottom half sausage exclusively because of one reason. I don't think where's the head at, bro? Listen. I don't. This is too much for me, okay? This is way too much for me personally. Bro, I'm gonna be a freak anyway. Okay? That's how you left me, bro. I'm gonna say top me, bottom sausage. That's where I'm at mentally. I'm a freak either way, so it doesn't matter, right? Let's get it. What's funny is I really do like Casual Geographics, and I really seriously bought his book, and I'm in his Patreon. Seriously, like I really love what this guy does. It's serious, guys. And unfortunately, I've spent my life not caring about animals for such a long time. That learning in the way that he kind of teaches is absolutely genius, guys. It's extremely accessible. So yeah, I absolutely love Casual Geographics. Oh, you're doing this to me. Okay. I absolutely love Frank Sinatra. Like, there is no doubt here. I grew up listening to everything. I love the Quincy Jones era of Frank Sinatra, probably the best, right? But what do you mean a favorite song from Frank Sinatra? They're all my favorite songs from Frank. All of them are my favorites, bro. All of them. Like every single one of them is my favorite. Summer Wind, Come Rain or Come Shine, New York, New York, You Make Me Feel So Young, I've Got the World on a String, Witchcraft, I've Got You Under My Skin, For Once in a Lifetime, Come Fly With Me, Moonlight in Vermont, Luck Be a Lady, A Foggy Day, Where or When, Embraceable You. And probably the one that I can honestly listen to consistently as loud as humanly possible is probably going to be Mac the Knife, bro. Like just the whole thing, like it's like, you know, it's obviously a tribute to like Bobby Darin. Louis Armstrong did another remix to that also, guys. It's such a genius piece of music, guys. Easily, without a doubt, one of the greatest structured songs I've ever encountered. Mac the Knife, coming from Frank Sinatra on his 20th anniversary duet album. Listen to that. Listen to that right there. Like, listen to how it is complete. Wait, I'm getting too excited. I'm getting way too excited here. Definitely 100% Mac the Knife, Frank Sinatra. That may actually, well, I can't say it's my all-time favorite. It's just because it's so crazily. Is somebody texting me? Easily one of my favorite songs I ever heard in my entire life, and when I heard it, I couldn't stop listening to it. And it's crazy because this song is super old, but it just never crossed me until like much later in life. And I do wish that I would have encountered that song kind of, you know, earlier, just so I can understand the overall greatness and glory that piece of music is. Guys, again, it's just a brilliant piece of music. My Kind of Town, Fly Me to the Moon, Embraceable You. Guys, Frank Sinatra, I'm sorry, okay? I honestly, I grew up, my entire childhood was either Frank Sinatra or Biggie Smalls. I know that's so crazy, you know, in terms of like the differences here, but that's what I grew up listening to exclusively. Like I wouldn't listen to anything else. I would just be like, why? Nothing is as good as this, right? I would literally compare everything to either Frank Sinatra, anything from Frank Sinatra, or Notorious B.I.G. If it didn't exist, if it wasn't better than that, I didn't want to hear it, bro. I'm just gonna be honest, and that's kind of another reason why I just didn't listen to so much music, you know, growing up, because I would literally be stuck on that, or in general, music sung in Spanish. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Sorry to fanboy out, but Frank Sinatra for the win, bro. When it comes to like the Dolomites is absolutely beautiful. I mean, the Crazy Trail is there. The chalets are all absolutely crazy. I've been to one of the chalets there, but I had never did the trail. I'm too fat for that. Yeah, too fat for that. Trust me. Right? I mean, listen, it would be a great workout, right? I mean, it's beautiful. I've heard like walking the trails. I definitely do not think it's overrated at all. Like it's not overrated. I mean, think about it. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and honestly, anything that is considered a UNESCO World Heritage Site is absolutely worth visiting. Anything on that list is worth visiting, guys. Okay. In terms of the Pyrenees, I've seen the Pyrenees from afar, right? But I never actually went to the mountains. So I've spent about 3 months in Occitanie in France, and so you can definitely see the Pyrenees mountains over there. Funny enough, I owned a Great Pyrenees dog though at one time in my life. It got stolen though. Overall, definitely not overrated. None of these places are overrated, bro. Please go see the world completely. See the world. Oh wow, guys. Uh that episode was a hard episode. And the reason why it was so hard is because it straight corrupted. And there was no way we can kind of bring that episode back. And so we just ended up just having to move on, you know, move forward in the series, guys. I saw it, absolutely, but I don't really recall fully what exactly that episode was about because I didn't rewatch it, right? Um, but I don't think it's coming out this week. Yeah, guys, I don't mind. Tell me what's good. That's it, really. Tell me what is good with Denzel Washington in it, and I'll check it out. I'm gonna say my Korean is probably at like maybe 65%, like conversation level, but not like, just don't get into anything like historical or anything like that in terms of Korean. That will completely lose me, but we can have a conversation. Didn't really have much overall inspiration. Like at that time, the only person I saw kind of doing it was like, well, obviously there were a couple of reaction channels that were doing it, like Arctic Kicks and No Life Shack. That's basically, all I saw for the most part. They were like the largest, but I didn't start it specifically to like copy them or join a wave or anything like that. It was the middle of the 19, right? I was in Spain. We were literally locked down under martial law. Couldn't go outside under any circumstance, guys. And I missed the concept of like human contact. Before that time, I was literally shooting probably 6 or 7 models every single week before that happened. So I was at the very least, involving myself in some types of various conversations with other people. I would see people, and I missed that, I think, human connection. And I started a reaction channel. I was just like, oh well, I'm gonna do this because there's nothing else really to do. But I never expected for it to, get to almost that point. I definitely never expected to be. I think combined, all the channels that we have right now are like maybe 940,000 subscribers or so, guys. I never expected that. I would have been fine with like 500 people hanging out, to be honest, guys. Linear. The correct pronunciation of my name is linear. Similar to linear, like straight line mathematically, right? But linear, it's Welsh. Pretty easy, actually. I don't think I've ever really come across that word. I've called them bivalves forever, basically. And I had another word for the same thing that apparently is common. So a lot of what I know is from a book, from multiple books, guys, right? So a lot of the times I will mispronounce words that don't make any sense or in a crazy way because I've never actually heard them said out loud, right? So I knew that very specific thing as a bivalve. That's how I knew it. I'd never heard the term cockles before, guys. So that's why. My fanny pack is fine. It just basically generally conceals a Smith and Wesson 45 caliber and and some paperwork. That's basically all that's inside of my fanny pack on average. If I go outside, I generally carry 2 firearms and the small compact 45 caliber S&P Smith and Wesson sits in that. I got arrested twice in my life. Both of them were in the United States of America, and they exclusively were relating to the mother of my children. Basically, in the state of Georgia, if something happens in the household, you both get arrested, right? And the mother of my children was extremely a hands-on type of person. Long story short, I caught her basically dealing with someone else in a way that was extremely inappropriate. And I had absolute proof. I showed her the proof. She went crazy, and she tried to kill me. She got arrested for like basically attempting to delete me, and I got arrested for simple battery, basically for getting her off of me. Kind of how that worked, guys. There were knives involved, and she was trying to end my life, and that's how that happened. That was the second time I got arrested. The first time also involved her. We had separated for a little while, and because again, she was the guy who she decided to start dealing with while we were separated followed her to my house, and he basically attacked me while I had my son in my hand, and I ended up getting arrested, and he didn't. So that's how that worked, right? I ended up getting arrested that day. So I've been arrested twice. Those are the 2 times I've been arrested, and the reasons why I was arrested. And funny enough, as soon as I got her out of my life, I never ever had any issues before, guys, right? And keep in mind, I take accountability for anything that I've ever done. So yes, I've absolutely been arrested twice, and those were the 2 times. Those were the 2 times, and those were the reasons why I was arrested. So I think the only way is for, if we had a utopia of sorts, that would be the only way we can all come together as a collective race and start pushing ourselves towards the stars, right? A very specific galaxy. I just honestly want to just explore ours. There's no other one that really interests me like that. I mean, there are a couple of cool looking ones from afar, but I think that we need to worry about ours first, and then we can worry about someone else's, right? But we do absolutely need to all come together and start pushing towards the stars. That's the only way we'll be able to achieve any of that. And we also have a lot of smaller things that need to kind of be rectified. In terms of technology and how we can make our bodies actually able to do those things. You get what I'm saying here? So when we can come up with all of those things and fix all of those things, I think then eventually we'll be able to actually, reach some type of interstellar travel. Probably not. Because the thing about it is that everything generally on the channel is not everything. There are so many donations that come in regularly on a regular basis that everything generally takes a really long time. And so when we add a movie into the situation, making a movie specifically for Patreon is really hard, right? Like logistically, at least on my end, because again, we've run so many other channels. So if I do a movie, that movie has to 100% go up on the movie channel or TV show. It has to be specifically, it has to go up, right? And the problem is that it costs. So my editor charges me $80 to put a movie up. Right, so every single movie or TV show reaction that you see on the movie channel basically costs $80. So every single episode that we put up, he charges me $80, right? So I would prefer not to take requests for movies because the chance of me being able to do it, I'd have to basically risk. It's more risky, right? So like if you give me a movie that may not work specifically, or a TV show that's not going to work very well on YouTube, what happens is, so I end up having to pay for the editing of that video to be put up, and if the donation doesn't cover it, I'm instantly out of money on a video and TV show that's not going to work on YouTube. So I would just honestly prefer not to, because I don't want to sit here and because I don't want to sit here and tell people like, hey, listen, if what you're donating doesn't cover the editing, then it's going to have to be at a, I can't 100% guarantee that can go up. So I would prefer not to just even do it. It is absolutely true. If it's not Frank Sinatra or like maybe honestly early 90s hip hop, or if it's not like sung in Spanish, I didn't hear it. Like I never sat and listened to it. So first time hearing what it means to me specifically is that this is the first time I'm sitting down, listening to it, soaking it in. The first time, period. So for example, some of the songs you guys send me to react to, I've heard maybe in passing, right? So like I'll be in a random store and I may hear that song, but I am not listening to it. It is basically just elevator music, if that makes any sense, right? I mean, I'm not comprehending that I'm hearing it, but because occasionally I'll be like, was this song on like a soundtrack or something? Because I can't place it. It sounds familiar, but I have no idea what it's about. And I've never actually sat down to listen to it. So yeah, first time hearing literally means first time hearing, regardless of how popular some people may think that song is. One of my favorite songs is from a singer named Mrlboyd. The name of the song is called I'm on the Rock or something like that, guys. I'm on the Rock. And every person that I know has heard this song. But if I was to instantly go somewhere else, right, they've never heard this song. So it's all about what's normal to you culturally, in a sense, right? So like Phil Collins, bro, I've never heard of Phil Collins in my life until this channel. Okay, just gonna be honest. Metallica? Bro, I've never heard of Metallica. No. I've heard of Metallica, but I've never listened to a single song of theirs until I had my channel, right? And honestly, in any country music, I've never specifically listened to country music until I had the channel. Just think about that for a second. What's sometimes normal to you very specifically is not normal to someone else. And I can definitely tell you that, bro, I've never heard this music. I promise you. I promise you. And again, I also spent a lot of times. I've spent what almost guys. I've spent almost 2 decades in countries that do not speak any English, bro. They just don't speak English. so, so yeah, it's pretty easy to not hear music when the language is not there. Favorite guns that I own, pistols. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, in terms of like that I carry, FN 509 tactical. I do like the 502 tactical also, the little 22. I like that. That just feels good. It's fun, right? I'm not trying to say guns are fun, but they're fun a little bit. I love FN. I may just be like super. I don't know, bro. I may be a fanboy a little bit, but FN 509, FN 502. I like the 57 also. The P90, and the reason why I like the P90 is exclusively because of Stargate and Jack O'Neill basically carried a P90, and I just fell in love with the P90 ever since the '90s. Basically, P90 is just a beautiful gun. Also at the same time, I love the CZ Scorpions, the Evos. Let's see, the Ruger PC Chargers. I like those too. I'm just thinking about the things that I own specifically. Yeah, those are like my favorite types of guns, guys, right? But specifically, what I carry, I'm either carrying as the main FN 509 with a 25 round magazine and full hollow points, and what else? Then I carry a 45 caliber S&P Smith and Wesson. I know exactly who you are asking me this question. Bro, my time, I just don't have time. Bro, I wish there were more hours in a day, to be honest. If there were more hours in a day, that would be amazing. And I would literally come up there and be like, let's go shooting. I'll bring whatever I need to bring and we can just go hunting. I love the idea of it. My problem purely is time. I don't have time. Eventually, I'm gonna get to the point where I can be able to slow down, but as of right now, I have a goal I'm trying to hit, and once I hit that goal, I should be able to start, slowing down a little bit. But as of right now, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes and that needs to be taken care of to actually get to the point where I do have more time. My household is purely English spoken household. Yeah. I mean, obviously she speaks Spanish, right? I mean, but that'll be more like whenever she's on her phone talking to someone in Spain, right? That's the only time that she speaks Spanish, really. Well, very specifically, my channel is basically overkill, and I would not suggest anyone to follow my lead, bro. I'm just gonna be honest. My channel is completely overkill. But just in terms of software by itself, Streamlabs, right? Streamlabs by itself, but you're gonna need a lot more after that. But Streamlabs by itself should be able to do it, guys. But the next thing is camera, lighting, monitors and all this other stuff, guys. But if you guys do want, one day I can probably just go over a lot of this stuff and I can show you kind of like what it takes to kind of do it. But bare minimum, it's really easy. I do like these. Yeah, so I love this camera for YouTube, but I have not used yet for YouTube. I'm basically building it. It's not done being built yet. Just expect a lot of like behind the scenes expenses to happen really quickly. No, I'm originally from New York. I'm from Long Island. I've just lived in Georgia for a pretty long time. I prefer Georgia to New York. I don't really like New York like that. It's dirty. And obviously being in Georgia with fresh air, it's like, Georgia's better. That's a good question. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and say, let me start by explaining this here. I was born in 1986, right? So take my opinion specifically with a grain of salt. I was barely three, leaving the 80s, But here's the thing. I do think we are absolutely in a permanent decline. There are a lot of factors that have pushed us to where we are, but I cannot imagine us ever coming back from this. There's just too much going on. Capitalism has absolutely run rampant, and it's become and we've gotten to a point where it's no longer sustainable to kind of exist in this the experiment known as the United States of America, guys. This is why I kind of tell people like, bro, listen, if you can save up a little bit of money, and I mean a little bit of money, you could probably get out of the States for like maybe $5, $6, $7,000. You could probably go somewhere else, save up some money, and look somewhere else. It is okay, right? It is completely okay. And if you can work remotely, even better. And what I mean by saving $5, $6, $7,000 is I'm not trying to act like that's a small sum, right? You're gonna have to make sacrifices in your life at one time just so it can be better in the long run, right? So kill all the expenses, right? If you can live off of as little as humanly possible, do that very exact thing. Save up as much money as you possibly can and get out of here, bro. And that's just what I'm gonna tell people going forward, right? Yeah, inflation is absolutely hurting America. We can no longer, as I'm on mass, be able to afford houses or property, bro. Al Bundy could afford a house. We can, bro. Right? There are too many issues that are happening, currently in the United States of America, that is pushing me to tell people that it may just be better to go somewhere else. And honestly, please do it. Like for the sake of your family, for the sake of your households. If you can find a job that'll pay you American money while you're living in some foreign country, bro, you're set, bro. Oh, you get what I'm saying here, guys? You're set. You're completely set. You're good. Go to the Philippines. Have fun, bro. Please go to the Philippines, where houses are still selling right now for like $57,000, right? Like 3.2 million pesos, bro. That's with some land, but just make sure you are, making American money. You get what I mean here, guys? Like you can live in the Philippines off of probably $800 a month, if that, bro. And if you want to live similar to how the Filipinos live, probably like $500, bro. That's it. Maybe three, closer to three. But if you want to live like an American lives, $800. I'm telling you, bro. Go somewhere else. You will be happier. Your money will last longer. Just everything just starts to become better. Quality of life is better. You don't have to work to death, bro. You deserve better than that. You understand? And until we can kind of get to the point in the United States where we can kind of come back from that or bring that back or reel it in a little bit, bro, I don't know. Interest rates are getting higher. Everything is getting more expensive. I understand that over time, generally, money should be going up, but not as fast as it has been. When all of these gigantic corporations decided that the stock market itself was a failing system, and then they started investing into real estate, that was basically the end of us, guys. When the federal government allowed that type of thing to happen. Like I'm all for a company or corporation being able to buy a piece of property, but not 10,000 houses, guys. All right? Because they know real estate in itself is going to yield more money than a stock market will. And it's safer, right? Because this house in 10 years, no matter what it is going to be worth a percentage more than what it was before. Generally, we're not going to go back, guys. So we are where we are, and I don't see it getting better. If less than 20% of Americans can afford to purchase a house, we have a problem, guys. I understand the federal government is trying to stop inflation by raising the interest rate to basically slow down the process of getting money, you guys. We need to do a little bit better than that. Right. And with AI coming in the way it is, we're going to have to end up doing some type of UBI where everyone is just going to get a set salary just for being American, similar to what goes on in Alaska, guys, right? When an oil company gives all these citizens of Alaska money every single year and paid in dividends, guys. We're going to have to start coming to that point because AI is almost at a point where it's going to start taking over massively, guys. So, yeah. We have issues. And if the UBI is not high enough, kind of fix inflation, and what's the point, bro? Right? So, yeah, I would think right now the UBI probably would need to be somewhere around 2,000 to like maybe maybe $2,000 to $2,700, right? Every single person over the age of 18 in the United States of America gets a paycheck going forward for $2,700. That's the only way America won't fall, bro. But we can't afford that because inflation. See what I'm saying? We can't afford that because of all these other things that are happening in the world. So yeah, the only way for this country to be fixed overall, period, summary, UBI, if not, leave. All right, we made it. We're done. We're done here. I'll catch you guys later.